Dear students, we are again for online classes in engineering mathematics, model 5 we are discussing. So already joint probability we have discussed and problems also we are discussing. Meanwhile, the next topic, that is sampling theory, for that one renowned resource person has been invited for you. He is none else than Dr. S.R. Bakur, MSc, PhD in statistics. So he is a member of our own institution, that is CCAP. He is a working lecturer in CCAP PU College for Boys, and he is very expert in this theory. So therefore, for your benefit and for your more and deep information of the theory, I have called him, and he has obliged to our invitation. So therefore, I am on your behalf, I am very thankful to him. Sir, please enjoy, and please let our students enjoy the
Okay, sir, thank you. Okay, let us start the discussion on this sampling theory. Before going to start the syllabus, so we just want to concentrate on some of the definitions, means terminologies. The first one is the population. Population, it doesn't mean that the human population. So its definition will be the totality of units under consideration. Totality of units under consideration is called population. So what is unit here? Unit means the object whose characteristic is to be studied is called unit. So that means the totality of units under consideration is called population, and unit you come to know. Then what is sampling? The part of the population is called sample, So sampling means the process of selecting a part of the population, we call it as the sampling theory. Okay, based on this, so we have another terminologies are with us. So here in sampling, one we call it as the random sampling. Random sampling means, so I told you sampling means a part of the unit, a part of the population, that is sample units are selected, and while selecting the sample unit, if all the units under population is taken with equal chance or probability, is called random sampling. So this is, we have just discussed what is population, what is unit, what is sample, what is sampling, and what is the random sampling. Okay, then standard error. Then we just want to know what is the meaning of standard error, because we consider the standard error more in future. So we hope already we know the standard deviation. Standard deviation, so standard deviation of the sampling distribution. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution is called standard error. What is that? Standard deviation of the sampling distribution. Then we should know what is the sampling distribution. So I just give you the meaning of sampling distribution. So see that. See, for example, this is the population size. From this population, we can select many samples. Of size n1, n2, n3 and so on, nk. That means we have selected k samples. For each of these samples we can find the arithmetic mean x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar and so on xk bar, and the distribution of these sample means with their sample size we call that as the sampling distribution. Sampling distribution. What is that? I just want to write the distribution of sample means, the distribution of sample means with their corresponding frequencies, is called sampling distribution. So what I told, standard error is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. We already know that the standard deviation, you already know mean, median, mode. While discussing with the standard deviation already discussed. Standard deviation of any variable, you know, that is under the root sigma of x minus x bar the square divided by n. The same formula for the frequency distribution, f into bracket x minus x bar square divided by capital N. Already we discussed all these aspects. Okay, so after this standard error, we go to this. The main purpose of this sampling theory is to concentrate on the testing of hypothesis. Testing of hypothesis. So before going to this, we should know what is hypothesis. Hypothesis is the statement. Hypothesis is the statement regarding the parameters of the population. Then what are the parameters? This mean, standard deviation and many other constants of the population. So I told you two terms here. One is population, another is sample. So the constants of population we call it the parameters, and the constant of samples we call it as the statistic. Okay, so we should know the difference between what are parameters and what is statistic. Parameters are with respect to population, statistic is with respect to the sample. But hypothesis is what? So any statement regarding the population of the parameters, we call it as the hypothesis. Okay, the testing up of this hypothesis, we call that as the testing of hypothesis. So what is means some prior information. Earlier in society we know something. So for example, the brand R pen, the students will purchase 70% of it. Some manufacturer will say. So this is what we call it as the mean purchase, that we denote it by mu. So this itself we call it as the hypothesis. So this is some prior information is there with us. So for example, which brand of pen is popular in the market, brand of pen is, or which brand of cloth or which brand of shoes are popular in the market, but manufacturers are saying, in order to test their hypothesis itself we call it as the testing of hypothesis. Okay, so in that next, while discussing with hypothesis in testing, we usually come across two types of errors, type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error and type 2 error. Why we come across the error? Because we are testing on based on the samples. So because we, just to avoid the consumption of time, we are in this, the name of the chapter itself is sampling. So we are taking decision based on the samples. It means we must have to allow the error to occur. And before that, hypothesis I told, here there is two types of hypothesis. Null hypothesis we notationally denote by H naught. So the hypothesis the hypothesis which is tested, for its possible rejection, is called null hypothesis. We are denoting it by H naught. And based on this, one more hypothesis is there, alternative hypothesis, that notationally we denote it by H1. So that is here the hypothesis which we accept when H naught is rejected. When H naught is rejected is called H1. So we must have to define two hypotheses and they are complement of each other. So here we are accepted, this we have to reject, here it is rejected, this we have to accept. Okay. So based on this hypothesis, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, I just want to go to the next one, type 1 error and type 2 error. So rejecting H naught when it is true. This is type 1 error. Type 1 error. Accepting H naught when it is not true. That is type 2 error. So that means when you go to market, so while purchasing the mango, that seller will give you the sample of mango. Okay. So what happened? You reject the mango so that it is sour. So but your decision might be wrong because your idea will be based on the sample, because that bulk of mangoes might be good. And another kind of error you may come across, you are accepting the sample that it is a very sweet, but while purchasing, when you bring that to your house, you come to know that whole lot what you purchase is wrong. So this kind of error we come across while testing of hypothesis. One has to tolerate, one has to allow with some sort of mistake. Okay, so then this is one thing. And next one is level of significance. So here what happened, while allowing this kind of error, so to what extent we are allowing that in advance we have to fix its level. So that is what we call it the level of significance. So that's its definition is very simple. Level of significance we are denoting notationally by alpha, and it is the probability of type 1 error, or this is probability of rejecting H naught when it is really true. When it is really true is called level of significance, and we fix this level of significance usually at 5% or 1% level of significance. So 5% it means error, 5% error and 95% confidence, or in some critical situations we fix this error to only 1% error and 99% confidence, For example, so what do you mean by error? See, for example, the student is having a potential of getting 100 marks, capacity of getting 100 marks. So then if he scored 95% of marks, and you should not blame that student, because 5% error one has to allow, and we call it as a natural tolerance. So 5%, this is even in any case we must have to allow this kind of error. So that is itself we call it as a level of significance. In other words, that we call it as a natural tolerance. That means that much of error one has to tolerate, even if it has been occurred during our any kind of situations while testing, we must have to allow. Okay, so this is level of significance. And then test of significance and confidence intervals. Okay, so here I told you this in testing we come across the test statistic. Test statistic. Okay, the statistic based on which the test of hypothesis is conducted. The test of hypothesis conducted is called test statistic. And then confidence interval. The interval in which the value of the parameter lies itself, we call it the confidence interval. And confidence coefficient, one more terminology we come across, the probability that the value of the parameter lies in this interval itself, we call it as the confidence coefficient. Okay, then based on all these, so I just discussed with the population what is the unit, what is the sample, what is sampling, what is hypothesis. Two types of hypothesis we come across: null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, type 1 error, type 2 error, and level of significance, test statistic, confidence interval and confidence coefficient. And then so here there are, again I told you this test statistics, there are two types of test statistics. First one is one-tailed test, and second one is the two-tailed test. So see that one more thing I forgotten to explain you, the critical region. The critical region, or it also we call it as the rejection region. So see that, for example, this is the one curve we normally expect for the large population size. I earlier told you that the population size should be n which is tends to infinity. So that is a large population. When the population size is large, then only we are going for the sampling theory. Otherwise, no need. So then, when the population size is large, if you plot that graphically, we expect that is a curve in this form. That is, we call it the normal curve. And here, so for example, if any region on both the side or on the single side of this curve, that is the tails. So if this region I just want to say to you, and this region I just want to say. So here, if any samples lies in the shaded region and where the leads to H0 is rejected. If H0 is rejected in the region, in the shaded region, then we call it as this region we call it the critical region. And if it lies on both the side, or it might be lies on one side. If this critical lies on both the sides, we call that as a two-tailed test. And if it lies only on one side, for example, I just show you one more diagram. So this is the one-tailed test, that is we call the right tail, and one more, this is left tail, one tail, left tail, and this is we call it as the two-tailed test. I hope you come to know. If critical region lies on only one side, that is one-tailed test. That critical region may lies only on the right side, right-tailed test, or it might be lies only on the left side, it is left-tailed test. And if it lies on the both the sides of the critical region, both the sides of the tails of this normal, that is two-tailed test. Then what about other unsided region? This is the region we call it as the non-critical region. Non-critical region or acceptance region. Okay. So here based on this, we will go to first test of significance of proportions. So many tests we come across here. Test for single mean or test of proportions. Then second one, test of mean. Test of mean. Okay, first one we'll go to the test for proportion. Test of proportion. In this, so what we need to write here, first for any testing we must have to define first the null hypothesis. Here the null hypothesis will be P is equal to P naught. What is proportion? First we should know. See for example here, so some population of size n is there. This is a capital N denotes the population size. From this population I have taken a sample of size n, and among these n samples, if x units are said to possess the attribute. So what attribute? For example, see for example I want to take coffee drinkers. Coffee drinkers. See I have taken 100 individuals, of which 30 individuals are having the coffee. Then what is the proportion of coffee drinkers? P is equal to x divided by n. 30 by 100 is equal to 30% you can write, or you can write 0.30. So this is the proportion of coffee drinkers, and proportion of non-coffee drinkers, you know it is another one I can take, small q is equal to n minus x divided by n, that is 70 by 100, that will be 70%, or you can say 0.7. So for example in our day-to-day activities we come across many situations, we know the proportion of individuals using that brand of pen, as I earlier told many examples. So to know whether it is true or not, for example our SICAB engineering college, some students are saying it is a very good. So for example I felt that 70% of the students are, proportion of students are saying very good, lecturers and everything. So you cannot immediately accept. So you can go for the testing. So itself we call it as the test of hypothesis. What is the hypothesis here? 70% is good. And to check whether it is true or not, we are going for this. And for that what you have to do? You have to take the sample of student and you have to get their opinion. Based on that you come to know whether that hypothesis is correct or wrong. Okay. Now here H is equal to P is equal to P naught, and H1 P is not equal to P naught, the test is two-tailed, and H1 one more chance, P is greater than P naught, here test is upper tail, or even you can call it as left tail, and H1 P is less than P naught, test is right tailed or lower tail. Okay. So for one null hypothesis we come across three alternatives, that is P is not equal to P naught, P is greater than P naught, this one, P is less than P naught, this one, and P is not equal to P naught mean that is two tail. That what I wrote here. So under H naught, the test statistic is Z is equal to small p minus capital P naught divided by under the root P naught into Q naught divided by N, which follows the standard normal variate. So what is small p? Sample proportion. What is capital P naught? Already we discussed in the wrote in the alternate null hypothesis, that is the population proportion P naught Q naught. So this Q naught will be obtained by using this relation. Q naught is equal to 1 minus P naught. So this value we call it as the Z calculated. This we call it as a Z calculated, but based on this value we come to know whether to reject this hypothesis or whether to accept this hypothesis. That is based on the table values. That is based on some fixed table values are there. So that is for 5% LOS, level of significance, the CVs, the critical values are minus K alpha by 2 is equal to minus 1.96 and K alpha by 2 is equal to 1.96. So then if this minus K alpha by 2 is less than, Z cal is less than K alpha by 2, accept the null hypothesis. Accept the null hypothesis. Otherwise, so if anything goes different here, reject H naught. Otherwise reject H naught. So what are these values are always fixed for 5%, and for 1% minus K alpha by 2 is equal to minus 2.58 and plus K alpha by 2 is equal to plus 2.58. So we have to consider it mostly usually on 5%, because 1% only in critical situation, that to be in medical examples we consider this, but better you concentrate only on 5% level of significance, and where these are the fixed values. See, for example, your value you have calculated Z cal is equal to 2.0. So you come to know whether your H naught is accepted or rejected. So 2.0 mean you should not accept. Why? Because this Z calculated is 2.0 mean it is greater than 1.96. So you must have to reject. Or otherwise, see, for example, if we got Z calculated value, see, for example, 1.5 we got it. This is while calculating this value, if Z cal, if we got it as 1.5, then we have to, because it is this 1.5, 1.96 is greater than 1.5, which is less than 1.96, it means we have to accept H naught. We have to accept H naught. So while calculating the numerical examples, you come to know all these effects concepts. So that means what is capital P, what is small p, how to calculate this test statistic, how to use all these critical values, and whether to reject or accept the H naught, you come to know. Okay, then this is the test for proportions and test for mean. Test for mean. Test for mean. So here for test for mean, again we must have to define what is the null hypothesis, that is H naught. Here test for mean for two populations. For two population. So here mu1 is equal to mu2 is equal to mu. So in two populations we want to know whether the means of the two populations are equal or not. So earlier we said that is mu1 is equal to mu2, that equal to mu. Again we will have the three alternatives. Mu1 is not equal to mu2, mu1 is greater than mu2, mu1 is less than mu2. So here the test is two tail, here upper tail test, upper tail, here it is lower tail. Again under H0, the test statistic is Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar under the root sigma 1 square divided by n1 plus sigma 2 square by n2, which again follows this standard normal variate. And again the further process will be same as earlier. So again this will give you that Z calculated value and this calculated value is again going to compare with these two values, minus 1.96 and plus 1.96. Then we come to know whether again this hypothesis what we have defined is to be accepted or is to be rejected. Okay, so then these are for, these tests are all for large samples, large sample where the sample size is n greater than 30. If sample size is less than 30, another description we are just discussing with the students t test. Students t test, students t test. So there again the defining the null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis remains same, but only thing goes the test statistic. Here is again H0, mu is equal to mu naught only. This is for sample mean, for sample mean. Mu is equal to H0, ours is mu is equal to mu naught H1, mu is not equal to mu naught H1, mu is greater than mu naught H1, mu is less than mu naught. So again there are three possibilities based on one alternative null hypothesis. So again test statistic here, test statistic t is equal to x bar minus mu naught divided by s divided by root n, which follows t with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So this t with n minus 1 degrees of freedom mean for different degrees of freedom these critical values we have to collect from the t table. So that t table, even in the exam the table will be supplied for every student. You have to collect that value. Again what is this, we call that as the t cal, that means calculated value of t. Calculated value of t. This calculated value should be again compared with the tabulated value. Again we come across three situations. So again that if this minus t alpha by 2 is less than t cal is less than t alpha by 2, if this calculated value lies between these two, we have to accept H0, otherwise reject H0, otherwise reject H0.